Uh, yeah, good morning once again, and sorry for the disruption just now. Welcome back, the president of AGECOPE, Delren Douglas, and today we will talk about everything that is bugging the elderly care industry and all the things that affecting all the stakeholders. So we're going to start off with Darren. Welcome, Darren, and just start with telling us what are the problems with this industry that you face after 1 year as president of AGECOPE.
Good morning, everybody. Whether you're listening now or later in the afternoon or night, good morning to you all. As the president of the Persatuan Pengendali Jagaan Berkediaman Warga Emas Malaysia, or the English version is Association for Residential Care Aged Care Operators of Malaysia. It's my honor to be representing all operators in Malaysia with the help of UPM, geriatricians, and government authorities. Now, this 1 year has been a bit tough. I've been much busier during MCO than non-MCO times, mainly because a lot of homes operators who are non-members and members are seeking advice, help. And I like to take this opportunity to thank the Welfare Ministry, JKM especially, for rendering whatever help they can during the time of MCO. But the challenges that we face more or less also deals with local authorities, besides family members and a rapid aging population. Malaysia, as we know, is heading towards a aging population, and we are supposed to be, by the year 2030, we will have about 4.5 million to 6 million citizens above 60 years old. And looking at it now, if these figures were to be placed in the country now, we definitely cannot cope. But we have a 10 years grace period to make sure everything is in order. The main challenges that we face are that the local authorities, not the welfare ministry, not the health ministry, but the local authorities, as in town councils, as in state governments, are not in tandem with not heading in tandem with the aging population. Whereby I say this because a lot of local authorities are not ready or not prepared for an aged population. No, I cannot say all are like that. There are cities like KL and Penang, Georgetown, who are ready and are working hand in hand with operators to make sure the state or the city or the area covered, their coverage area is ready for an aged population. They have talks, they have programs, they have seminars on this. Now, but there are towns within Malaysia, town councils, district councils, who are totally unaware that we are heading to this. And that's one of the challenges most operators face, and when authorities are not ready, and when operators want to get licensing, they face many difficulties. Now, if the government is ready to face an aged population, they will make it easier for operators to open up, run a home, and not put too many obstacles. I can understand if the obstacles are meant for the good of the residents themselves, for the people living in the area, but some I can say some of the laws are not user friendly, are not friendly to the operators, nor friendly for the senior citizens in the homes that where they are being cared for. All said, we have so many challenges ahead, and I find that because we do not have an association in the last 15, 20, 30 years, a lot of things a lot of laws were made from the viewpoint of the authorities instead of the operators or the senior citizens themselves. Meaning that operators do not have a say in the previous ACTA in 1993, when ACTA 586 was implemented, operators didn't have a big say in the guidelines themselves. It was imposed on all the pusat jagaan. And local authorities, being local authorities, they have their own 20 to 30 councillors who are elected every 2 years or appointed. I cannot say elected, we have stopped having elections for local authorities. So they are appointed, and different states, different town councils, different majlis daerah will have different councillors, and every councillors will have their own views and they will impose own rules for their towns. So much so, a law in Johor Bahru Town Council will differ greatly from a law from a Majlis Daerah Alostar, Majlis Bandaraya Alostar in Kedah. Because the councillors think differently, they do things for their own locality, which is good. But when it comes to the federal level, when ministry like JKM wants to allow certain things to go ahead, we can't move forward because of different type of laws imposed by local councillors. We need to do this in tandem.
Okay, Darren. Okay, just a slight
deviation.
Deviation. 506 is not 586. 506.
Okay.
Sorry. Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we always get. Yeah. So okay. So you are saying you're saying that the same ACTA with the same guideline given to two different councils is being looked at and implemented differently by two different group of councillors. Is like, are you saying that they're like Asam Laksa in Johor and Asam Laksa in Laksa Johor and Laksa Kedah is not the same lah, but it's still called Laksa?
Not the same. Still called Laksa, but not the same. Okay, ACTA 506, ACTA Pusat Jagaan 1993 is a guideline how to set up a Pusat Jagaan. It's more or less being used by the Welfare Ministry to as a guideline for all the Pusat Jagaan to follow to comply with the requirements that they ask us to do. But in order to start an operation of operators in the town, you will have a separate guideline. Maybe it will differ from the ACTA Pusat Jagaan 1993, whereby town councils can impose own bylaws, regulations before a commercial or a non-commercial care operator can start taking care of old people. Now, I can give an example. There are certain states or certain councils that will have no problem of a home opening in a bungalow area in any part of their town. But there are some states or some councils that do not allow bungalow areas to be, residential areas with bungalows to be used as a caregiving operator to open a home. So it works differently from state by state.
Okay, but here's, you remember that the radar president, I think was President Mr. James Tan.
Yeah,
he gave us an outline that Plan Malaysia from Dato Sri Zuraida's office. What the town planning was? What is it? The ministry? I can't remember that name. Okay, but basically in the Plan Malaysia is one of the guidelines is that it has to be a bungalow house. So what's the funny thing going around here now? You say some councils cannot, but the Plan Malaysia from the Ministry of Town Planning and I think the Kampong and all those things on that Dato Sri Zuraida's council, you say okay. So can you can you unpack this for us?
Okay, as again I said, in the federal level, things works easier at federal level. In fact, all the ministries at the federal level are working for us, working for the people, working for the senior citizens. They have good intention, but at the local authorities level, they do not work in sync with the federal level, because state laws may differ greatly from federal requirements. Town councillors may impose certain rules and regulations based on their scenario or based on what they experienced before, that resulting them in creating some bylaws or regulations. I give an example. There are some areas within KL itself despite KL being a progressive city, that neighbors, because of their discontent of a care operator operating in the bungalow in their residential area, may complain, and because of that complaint, the operator may not be given a license. So because there is a law within DBKL that requires neighbors' consent before an operator get issued a license. But this law is not imposed in certain states, whereby, or certain councils, whereby you don't need the neighbors' approval, or if your neighbors approve once, and then it's good for life. You don't get in future a new neighbor comes in and a new neighbor complains and it's pulled back the license. That is a bit, I say, a big challenge for operators when you get neighbors complaining, despite being issued a license previously, allowed previously by previous neighbors. So that is a challenge faced by a lot of operators.
Okay, I see. Now, but there is this particular case where, which we you took up in Subang with one of our member, was that council in Subang approved, but the residents association protest. Now, the funny thing was, as I understand the case was, the houses all around that center agrees, no problem. But because all the people around staying around there also a member of the residents. So when they protest, the president of that particular area, as I recall, says everyone protest. So
Yeah.
what was the case about? Can you also unpack that and tell us more?
There are so many specific, so many different cases. Subang has one, Rasa, Negeri Sembilan has one, Alustar, Kedah has one, even Penang has one. So more or less, it all comes to the same thing. Residents disagreeable. Sometimes the immediate neighbors can agree, and the requirement only requires an immediate neighbor. But when the association or the residential association feels that they don't like, maybe they don't like the face of the operator, maybe they don't like the noise, or maybe they feel intimidated by old folks, or they don't like to see the undertaker's vehicle passing by, or the ambulance passing by, or they have phobia, so they will protest. And sometimes they have connections, and when doing these connections, they can pull strings, and the councillors sometimes are asked to take back the license. In the case of Alostar, the home has been running for 3 years with license from Alostar Bandaraya, with license from JKM. Yet, because of residents complaining, and the funny thing is, some of the residents are complaining are not even staying there. The house is empty. Yes, and one of the residents even sent their mother there before, and yet today they are complaining that the operator is running the home there. So sometimes I don't understand why this is being allowed to happen. These are challenges that I face when I meet the councillors. These are the challenges I face when I meet the member of the ADON or the YB in the area. Now, I know their hands are tied because residents sometimes have a greater say, but then you have to have laws that should be fair to all parties. Meaning, if the home was allowed to operate, if they had satisfied all the criteria to get the license in the first place, and there is no other issues, new issues raised, or the issues raised can be can be avoided, then why not? Why not let them continue? I can't hear you.
Forgot that I mute my. Okay, so here's the funny thing is that you said at the federal level, the government, actually the ministries are actually very good and very accommodative and really want to move things forward. But at the local council level, they have their own guidelines, and then they are the residents who can association who can change the whole facade of what is agreed upon and approved.
Yep.
So it seems like the whole world is dancing to their own tune, isn't it? So,
Yeah, because this is a brought down issue from many years. It's not an issue that just happened.
mm,
It's been like this for the last 15, 20 years before I came to this industry. That
yep,
these things has been happening. I give another example. A lot of people, the ordinary people, would rather send their parents, if they have to send their parents to an care operator to take care of their mom or dad, they would rather
mm,
send to a home that is homely in a residential area.
mm,
But those
correct.
protesting, those protesting would rather and who have not yet sent someone to a nursing care home, they would rather you send it to do it in a commercial area. And we know that commercial area near a car workshop or near or on the shop lots is not conducive to take care of old people. And
Yes.
some local authorities don't even allow you to use a shop lot to take care of old people, whereas some allows you to do that. I give another example. In KL, there are no more new housing areas within KL itself, landed property, as in housing, as in landed
Mm,
property. But we don't allow nursing homes to operate in condominiums.
mm.
Either the local authorities don't allow, or the condominiums own JMC or JMB don't allow operators to operate from a condominium. Yet
Yep.
our aging population is heading to such an extent that we need more operators within Kuala Lumpur itself. And if you do not have more residential homes opening, so where are these people going to be sent to? Who is going to take care of them? And if you put so many hindrance, are we really ready to be working towards an aged population by 2030? Are we ready? Are we there yet? I feel there is a big gap between the actual reality of we are heading to an aging population and the reality on the ground that a lot of authorities who make the laws and regulations are not, I'm not saying they are not good, but they are not aware we are heading in that direction rapidly.
That is very interesting. So now is as HCOP president, and then how do you think you can bring this to the table? I mean, we are going to meet up with the group soon anyway. So what would be the way that we can bring it to the table and tell them, look, you better sort this out, or else you will have a lot of problems.
Well, we can share with them information. We can show them to them the facts. They are aware. In fact, the ministerial level are aware of this. In fact, all the infos I get are from them themselves. Is that they need to sit down with the state governments, whether the Menteri Besars, the chief ministers, or have a seminar for local authorities, the pengarah itself of each town council, to let them create this awareness that your city or your town is heading towards this, and are you ready? Some towns, cities disallow operators to open a home in certain when there is protest, but they did not even gazette an area or allow an area, or specify an area which can be open a nursing home or care operator home. They don't even gazette an area. They don't even say that, oh, okay, you have this taman here, you must have a school, you must have a clinic, you must have a police station within how many kilometers distance. But no one in many of these, don't say no one, many of these areas, town councillors don't even have a gazetted area for a nursing home or care operator home. They have for kindergarten, tadika, but they don't even have for operators nursing home. So that's where the difficulty arises.
So, in other words, what you're looking at is basically they will just authority just say no, but no option for you.
Yes, more or less it's like that. If they disapprove, if
Okay,
they disapprove.
so
And this is just one of the challenges we are facing.
mm,
The next challenge I face, uh, when I came into AgeCope, or when I came into this industry, this was not the challenge I was expected to face. The challenge I expected to face was a workforce, proper enough staffing for the senior citizens. And because we lack of staff, because the lack of nurses, to be given to all the 1,700 care operators within the country, we take in anyone who wants a job. We take in school dropouts. We take in school leavers. We take in people hopping from job to job. We take them in. We also take in retirees. But most of them are not trained on caregiving. A lot of people are not trained to take care of old people. And that's where, when you are not trained and you have to take care, suddenly you feel the frustration, you feel the anger sometimes, and you don't understand dementia, you don't understand patience with old people. And that's where some of the abuse happens. And this abuses that happens in care operators homes can be avoided with proper training for this staff. You need love. Love cannot be taught. It must be an upbringing. And if you don't have that love for the old people, this is not the job for you. And even if you have the love for old people, you may still get frustrated. And if you don't understand your nature of your job, then how do we move forward? So for me, the lack of training should be mitigated, and we should find ways to train all the operators, irrespective whether you are licensed or unlicensed, because there are a lot of unlicensed operators. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Back to that.
Okay,
Okay.
just a moment. So you just mentioned very important criteria, the word love. Are you saying the authorities, the local council, don't have love?
They have love. They have, but they are not aware of the problems the people face. To them,
Okay.
it could be a commercial business. To them,
Mm,
they feel that, oh, to love the old people, you need to do all these areas under our rules and regulations. Uh,
okay. Okay.
yeah, I don't say they don't have love. No, they have
uh,
love, but maybe
okay. Yeah,
they yeah,
you didn't say that. I say that because I'm
yeah.
just thinking maybe not just the staff, maybe the council themselves and need a bit more love, to solve the problem. But okay, let's go back to the illegal and the legal and the licensing. Now, we just did a survey for the MOH. In fact, MOH asked us to do a survey of the staff force in the place, and our data, of course, you gave 340. I got mine from Kebajikan as 370, and then I took a figure as a total from Pemandu was 1,006, and you took it from another sector is 1,007. So they are, and of course, with all these figures, the ministries are asking us for data. So we are also working in a very fuzzy data environment.
Yeah. I
So
think I believe seriously, I believe the data that we have is not as comprehensive and as complete as the data that the ministries themselves have, because what we have, we gather
mm,
from word of mouth, we gather from the different ministries involved from their own data, and we compile them
mm,
together. Actually, if the ministries work hand in hand, MOH, JKM, local authorities, they can get a better compilation of all the operators out there as compared to us. Now, what about those operators who are, how do you say, who do not reveal themselves, not even a signboard? Maybe we should dangle a carrot or give an amnesty. I'm working on that. I'm seriously working with. Actually, there are geriatricians and academicians who are working on that, and I'm glad that I'm a part of that. I'm not working on that. I'm glad I'm a part of that, to try to get amnesty for all the unlicensed operators for a short period of time during this pandemic or after this pandemic, so that maybe in this 1 year after the pandemic, they can be licensed, or maybe give a temporary license subject to fulfilling the requirements and until you get your full required license. But we need to give them something that they feel that, oh, okay, this is the reason I should get myself licensed. Because if they don't see the benefit of being licensed, they will never get themselves licensed. It's run under cover of darkness.
yeah, which is I got the amnesty. Of course, we discussed very heavily on it because that is the only way to move forward. But here's the incongruity, which I would like you to pick your thoughts. You know that we are dealing with the MOH, geriatricians, and all those professionals are working with MOH, even on the issues of the elderly care. But 99% of the elderly care centers are registered under Jabatan Kebajikan. And of course, the building is under the town planning council area. So here is the incongruity. Kebajikan give us 5 years license approval. Once they approve, it's 5 years. But the
Correct.
town council, once they approve, is 2 years. So now in 2 years, these 2 years, the town council can kick someone out, even though the Kebajikan is licensed for 5 years. So
True.
how
Very true.
so I just want to pick your thought. How do you think we can go around this musical chair? With the MOH coming in play.
Uh, for me, the ministries themselves, the director generals of all the ministries should sit down and discuss it among themselves. Because no matter what I say or whatever most people say, until and unless the federal level can get it done properly on their level, then only it can be brought down to the town councillors. Then only it can go down bottoms to the bottom to get it all rectified and in line with one another. Uh, I do not. I hope it doesn't come to the point whereby JKM only issues 2 years license. I prefer the town councillors issue a 5-year license similar with JKM, because if all the requirements can be complied, why not? On top of that, some councillors impose a lot of renovation works. I mean, a lot of structural defects, or you need to comply with certain requirements before you can start a home. And if you were to spend 50,000 to 100,000 just to comply with those requirements, and subsequently after 2 years you are asked to close down, I think it's very unfair to the operators. Even a cafe costs less to operate. A food cafe, a food restaurant may cost less to operate, and they are not asked to close down at the whims and fancies of people complaining, and the authorities has no choice but to close you down. No doubt, if the home care operator is not running and not taking care of the old people properly, if there's abuse, if there is signs of torture, then yes, by all means, close them down, even if they have license. But if they are running it well and they're doing better than if, and even some unlicensed homes are doing it better than the licensed homes, why not have a look, find ways to get them licensed, find ways to bring them out, and when you get all these people licensed, then we can slowly train all their staff, get them to work in line with the government's vision of preparing ourselves for the year 2030, the aged population. It all works now with the director generals of the ministries. Of course, the politicians play a part, but politicians come and go very fast. You see, we can change government less than 2 years. So sometimes
Yeah.
the ministers, yeah, they can they can play a part.
Yeah.
They can have the vision, but in the end again, it backs to the civil servants, the director generals. They are the one who's helping us. They are the one we are going to work with in the long term. The welfare mini officers are the one that we are working with in the long term, and I appreciate all the help they have been giving us. uh Maybe we they should all sit down together, the ministries at the high level, to find ways to make this workable, and we can
Mhm.
give them the help that they need. We can assist them, because we are operators ourselves. We can assist them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. True. So that's very interesting. The director generals and all the pengaras has to get to the ground and sit down together and get the. So, uh, I mean, at the end of the day, there's has to be one person who is going to be the have the main say. Which ministry do you think should be the one having the main say now? We have now in the operator side, we have the Kebajikan side, which is the Ministry of Pembangunan Wanita, Keluarga dan Masyarakat. Then we have the Ministry of Health. Then we have the Zuraida. I can't remember what's the name of the ministry. Okay. All I know is we always have problem with the council, and of course that's also in charge of
Housing and
the
rural development, I think.
correct. I've been thinking for so long. I should. Okay, and of course then the other one is Bomba is under housing rural or under
Also housing also.
Okay, so we have so many authorities. Of course, during the staffing wise, okay, we have the human resource coming in. Okay, and of course, some places they bring in foreign workers, so that the Kementerian Dalam
Dalam
Negeri
Negeri, yeah,
also
the
involved. So
Home
the
Minister, yeah.
five. So of all these, in your opinion, of all the five director general, whom do you think should take the lead? Like very simple, COVID pandemic, very clear. Our DG was fantastic. MOH done a great job. He took charge of everything. Basically, he even overrides the whatever the meeting says. You know, so he is the one taking charge of the entire issue. So of this, of the of my ministry, in
Okay,
your opinion, whom
this
should
is
take charge?
my this is my personal opinion. It's not AGECOPE's opinion. In my personal opinion, we should stick to the welfare ministry because a majority of the homes are running on welfare, meaning they do not charge. A lot of the homes are doing kebajikan per se. They get donations, they get help, they get assistance, whether from government or private sectors. A lot of our big companies like the Bajaya Group, like Asia, they have donated to many of these welfare homes. The name welfare homes itself denote that it should basically be parked under the welfare ministry. That is my personal opinion. Now, under the healthcare, because a lot of these residents could be as they age, as they grow older, they may be wheelchair bound, bedridden, they may be under palliative care. So that's where the health ministry comes in. Maybe the health ministry can work a department like what they are doing now. The klinik kesihatan is one of those who have to issue a license with approval, not a license, approval before overall JKM approves the license. What we can do is maybe klinik kesihatan or the government under the Ministry of Health can set a department specifically to assist the welfare ministry in this. All in all, say it's my own personal opinion. The law has been enacted, Akta 802, if I'm not mistaken, 802.
Correct.
So now, do we follow strictly to 802? Is there going to be changes in the future? I'm not sure.
Mm.
My personal opinion, stick to the welfare ministry. The officers have been working with us for so long, 20 years, 30 years. The other day, your senior who taught you, she's been here in JKM working for 30 years.
Yeah.
They are in the know. They know the challenges we face. We're going to start fresh again with the health ministry if we put in a new person in charge of all of us.
Yeah, I think which you are hitting it right at the point at the head there. I think most of it, a lot of people thought the nursing homes are making money, but I just did a mental count. A mental count. There's only about really less than 20% of the homes are really into the business side out of 1,007. Less than 20%, and they're making some sort. The rest are all welfare home run by
Or, or semi welfare, whereby they only charge 300 to
welfare.
600. Yeah.
You have one like that, isn't it, Darren?
Yeah.
You
I have one home like this whereby I have 25 residents there, senior citizens, whereby they can't afford to pay the full amount in a nursing care operating home. So, but they still need a nursing care. Their parents still need care by someone other than themselves. So I have such a home. I get help from Rotary Club. I get help from friends. I get help from the Buddhist Association in Sungai Petani and Penang. So yeah, we are basically doing it welfare charity wise because there are people who cannot afford but still want to stay in a home, and it still costs me money to pay for my staff, to pay for my nurse, to pay for the food. So where does this help come from? It comes from people outside. So that's why if you park it under the health ministry, I foresee they may not understand the welfare part of all this. If they can see, if they are acknowledge that there is such a part of us, and if they can handle it, by all means continue with Act 802. But if you they don't see that point, then might as well you stick to the welfare ministry.
yeah,
That's my
okay.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I know that the welfare ministry says it's until the age of 60, actually, which is as a care. And after that, there's nothing else. You should actually be going to another center, the nursing home. But of course, there are only 22 approved nursing homes. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, a nursing home license under Acta 586 is under Ministry of Health, which is basically a mini hospital. Okay. So, so as you know, I also that in the as you know that 506 also has a provision for medical that a community home is not a nursing home, but it is a duty to provide medical care. So and most of them have a nurse working for them, or an ex-retired nurse or ex-matron. So wouldn't that be sufficient to handle the medical issues that we are dealing with?
To me, yeah, it's sufficient. I myself have 5 nurses, staff nurse, 1 retired nurse, and 4 staff nurses, besides my nursing aide and other staff, and the maid. There are nurses there to take care of the rouse feeding, they take care of the dressing, to take care of all the other cares that normally done by nurses. So yes, there are nurses there. As long as you have nurses, then, and even though it's under the welfare ministry, you just make sure that the care is given, then why not?
Yeah, I think that is true. I think that's a good perspective. Maybe we can always look at it, see whether the MOH can pass it back. Maybe, I mean, the ACTA 802, the guideline is not out yet. So there's still a long way to go. So now on the issue is that, the staff, there's one issue that came about during this pandemic, and our team of people going around helping all the homes. So one JKM officer, a junior officer, threatened one of our members by saying that after the pandemic, we are going to close this place down. Okay, sorry for the accent. They're just making it dramatic only. But yeah, they're threatening to close all the illegals down. What is your thought for such comment by an officer?
Now, I don't know. I do not know because I didn't hear the officer saying it. It's just
Mm,
hearsay on my part. But if it's true, I think that is looking it the wrong way. Uh, as we know, there's around only 340, my figure that I got it from the Ministry of Health, or the figure that you got was 370 nursing care operators homes with license. We have another 1,400 without license. If I take an average of 20 residents in that 1,400 homes, you will have about 20,000 old people who have no place to stay, no place to stay, no place to go to if you close down all those homes. Instead of closing them down, let's work together with them. Find out ways how to get them licensed, what is stopping them, what is hindering them, instead of closing them down. They, like I said, some of these unlicensed homes may be giving better care than the licensed homes. Why close them down because of one issue? Look at the root cause of why they are unlicensed, get them licensed if there is a simple technical issue. That's my point.
I think also, I think looking at the numbers, and just now we had a glance at the unemployment rate in Malaysia. So under the essential services over these last 6 weeks of pandemic, hospitals, as you and I know, the private hospitals, of course, besides the government hospital, are the biggest employer of people. I think each one of them will have an average about 1,000. So we have about 300 over 1,000 people employed, followed by the second biggest sector will be the aged care. So what will be the numbers of employees? Should they be closed down? What will happen to the employees?
Of course, when they are closed down, the employees will be jobless. But if you're looking at the figures, if I take an average of my home, average of 25 elderly, I have about 10 staff. So if there are 1,700 homes, 1,400 without license, and you close all of them down, 1,400 you times 10 staff, you have a minimum of 14,000 people out of job. And you add in those indirect links, indirect care, the physios that come in and out, and all the other, how do you call it, the other connecting things that bring the old folks home together, you're going to get more than 20,000 people losing jobs. It's not a wise decision to close them down ad hoc. You're going to get 20,000 jobless staff. A majority are staff nurses, whether retirees or young staff nurses who opted to work in care operating homes. So no, 20,000 is a big number to lose jobs.
I think I agree with you with that the numbers there. I think that's quite serious, and the people, a lot of people are making comments and trying to put a finger. I of course AgeCOPE, we did not start off. You didn't start it off as a place to point fingers, but rather as a self-guiding, self regulating association to help and be part of the stakeholder with the government, isn't it? Am I right
Yeah.
to say that?
I told this to one minister before. I took it out from the previous Prime Minister Badawi, Abdullah Badawi, that we want to work with you. We are not against you. We want to work with you. We want to work. AgeCOPE can be the channel that we can assist the ministers or ministries to work together to get all these things done. Like how the Bar Council is to the lawyers, or how the MMA are to the doctors and medical professions. AgeCOPE can be that channel for the ministries to help and work together to get those unlicensed homes licensed, to get those staff who are not trained to be trained, those who wants to get a certification on notch level 3. Work with us, work together, and we can make this industry, the taking care of old people, be better in the long term. I always advocate that every home, no matter how good you are, there is room for improvement, whether in your staffing, the training for your staffing, or your structure, or the care that you give to the old people. There's always room for improvement. And if I can work with the ministries involved to make sure that this is given to the old people, always focus, we are here for the old people, for the senior citizens. If you have that focus in line, then we should not have a problem to take care of all our senior citizens in this country, irrespective of race or or financial being.
Well, that's very well put. I think. All right. I think we have said a lot today already. Is there anything that's close to your challenges and issues that's close to your heart you want to share? One last thing before we say goodbye and forward this to all the relevant ministry in this chat link.
What I said, what was close to my heart was the point I gave just now. That if
Okay.
we all work together, our focus is the old people. Just
Okay.
focus on the old people. This is their twilight years. Many of them have served the country. Some of them have served better than many of us here today. Why not, in their twilight years, we give the best care to them before they move on?
Okay, that's Darren. Thank you very much. I think it is a very comprehensive, very interesting. I think, and it really touches right to the ground of what the issues are today. The issues are, the ministries needs to work together. They have to clearly define it. The issues is big, but really it can be mitigated. It's not that difficult. But if they are not sorted out, I know there will be unemployment. There will be old folks all being left outside, with no place to go. So I think that is a big issue that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So with that, Darren,
Before I end, I
yes,
would like to take this opportunity to thank
yes.
also every people or persons out there who have been working together with us, or we not working with us, but have been taking care of the old people out there, whether you are geriatricians, doctors, physiotherapists, developers, people like James in the industry, pharmacists, whoever who have worked together to take care of the old people. I would like to give a big thank you, especially to donors in this time of pandemic, helping out all the nursing homes, sending out sanitizers, sending out face masks. A big thank you to all of you. We appreciate it so much. AgeCOPE appreciate all of you so much.
Okay, thank you, Darren. And I think we also must not forget Professor Aizan
Tengku
from
Aizan.
UPM. Thank you,
Yeah.
Aizan. Yes,
It's her
yes.
vision. It was her vision to start up with this uh, association in the year 2016, and she had a great team of Dr. Rahima and Mr. Chai working with her with all their staff at UPM. Yes, thank you, my aging UPM, for being the guidance to AgeCope.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Darren, thank you. Anyone last word or wisdom or anything, or that's the end?
Remember, a
uh,
touch of love.
a touch of love. Okay, thank you
Yeah,
very
a
much,
touch of
Darren.
love.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much. I think
welcome.
okay. Darren touched on a very important point is that we have to do things with love. We must remember all the people who have set it up. Now, AgeCope, it did not start with that easy. We started with a long journey, and it started way back in 2012 with the Pemandu workshop. Now, we work with all the governments, okay, which it doesn't matter who is in power. We are going to work with them to build the nation, to make this aging nation a better place, an aging place for everyone. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Muntoh. This is Agedcare in Malaysia, Jagan Waga Emas in Malaysia. We would like to say thank you very much. That's the end, and have a good day.